The red pill movement basically revolves around understanding what they consider to be the true nature of gender dynamics and using this knowledge to navigate the world and specifically relationships with women more effectively. You can already see that some of the things that are going to come up in any system that claims that men are like this, women are like this, and the world works like this is going to have some problems. I can tell you this definitively. You will be happier and more satisfied in life if you treat women as equals, deserving of respect and dignity.
Sort of. I think she was a bit disingenuous, right? Because she sort of condemned the red pill, but then at the end she says, treat people with dignity. The red pill has nothing to do with not treating people with dignity or women.
No, it does not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yep. So this is where I felt that video sort of fell flat. But what do you guys understand the red pill is to each and every one of you? What is it for you guys?
I'd have to say the red pill to me is no more than trying to go back to what made sense before. But since you can never go back, there's been a mutation of the way we view manhood and womanhood. It's back further than progressiveness, but it can never go back to what it was. And I just view red pill as our attempt to go back. It's going to fail, and a new thing will be born out of it. Progressivism cannot stand because progressive don't create anything. Feminists don't create anything. They are chaos. Just like Schopenhauer, whatever his name is, just like he said last night, it just creates chaos. The way things used to be got us to, people forget that the world is where it is because of the way we were. It moved, it progressed, it made it to the moon. Feminism will not make it to the moon. Feminism has a hard time making it to the bathroom. Red pillism is just anger over the fact that feminism can't make it to the bathroom. It's not going to make it very far.
Ideology. I mean, to me, it's just understanding female nature. As a praxeology. That's the pronunciation. Basically, mean it is understanding a practice, how we practice something, and understanding female nature in its purest form is where we will understand how we can get along with women. Whereas in today's environment, we are taught that we have to be equal to women and women are equal to us. And I think this is where the massive disconnect is. We're taught that we must be romantic and we must embrace a woman's equality to us. And I think, this is where the big issue is in today's environment. I think this is where we're having a hard time.
Well, that's why I said the mutation, because we are equal in humanity. But we are not equal. No woman is my equal. Very few men are my equal. Right. But we are all equal in humanity. So if we treat each other like humans, we'll be okay. But the second your little 5'5" self looks at me and says, I'm your equal, you better shut up and get a grip.
Yeah, John, you got something to say?
Well, from a red pill perspective, I don't think it's about equality. I think it's more of understanding of as John Gray put it, they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We need to understand our basic fundamental genetics of evolution as time progresses, how we are where we are today. And I think, looking at women from that level, you'll understand their behavior. They're more emotional. We're more logical thinkers. Mm-hmm. We are hunters and gatherers. We look at how we defend against the world, So, and it's really not I think it's more about understanding women and human nature and kind of looking at it from that level. I think, when you go back to fundamentals or grassroots, that's where you'll find all the answers in our life today. I mean, we've been influenced by philosophers and social media and all the stuff, but that could be very distracting and it's a lot of noise today. So I think it's just about trying to define those fundamental things and build upon it.
Natalie, how do you see red pill as a woman?
Well, for me, I agree with what James said and also John. I believe it's this thing of understanding a woman, but do we really believe that we don't understand a woman? Is that what it's saying out there where every, let's say 10 to 15 years, there's this new generation who comes up with their own idea of what woman is supposed to be. Men understand women.
We
You
have to
guys do.
we have
You
to
guys
understand
do.
women because if we're
So
to
it's
attract women, we have to understand women. Women don't have to understand us. Women just have to make themselves available.
exactly. And that's what I do believe that that's what it is. It's just making ourselves available. I grew up in a different time, and I was always seeing my mom catering to my dad and my grandma catering to my grandpa. So those are things that we have to continue doing. And yes, we can't go back, but whatever us here on this chat teaches our kids, eventually it's going to continue. We're going to have some red pill. We're going to have some people who are blue pill, but it's just a matter of making sure that we continue this to hopefully bring it back to reality, if I may say, where our own kids and our generations to come could understand that this is what we were supposed to be doing from the get-go and continue doing that moving forward.
Gary, talk to me, Gary.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, she was unmuted. So my point of view is different because I grew up without a father. So when I got to the age of manhood, there was no man there for me. No father, no older brother. I'm an only child, no uncle or cousin around. So there was no one there to teach me. So I see, and I've learned, right? But I see Red Pill at this age is taking that space where you don't have the father no more. Who is going to teach? Like, who's going to teach someone in their 18, their 20 about manhood, about woman? There's no one there. I had the pleasure of being there for my son and said, let me teach you about manhood. So I'm teaching them stuff in their 20s that I learned in my 40s and early 50s.
Right.
So you have to look at that dynamic. The family structure is gone. Who is teaching these young men manhood and about women and about, because a man will play three roles in his life: a man, a husband, or someone in a relationship, or a father. I taught my sons those three roles, but I was there to teach them.
Right.
No one was there to teach me. I learned it through that period. So that's what I see, that a lot of young men that may not have that father figure in their life, may not have an uncle, may not have a mentor, or gravitating towards Red Pill and say, okay, let me teach you about women, when it should have been coming from the father. It's coming from the...
How many men on this panel grew up with a father? One out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I also grew up with a father.
Okay. All right. So it's a 50-50 split. But this is the biggest issue. And I think this is one of the reasons why this channel is growing. Got to this point is because a lot of us never had a father figure in the home. And this idea that a woman thinks that she could grow a child, especially a boy, into a man, is the illusion that have been fed to us, especially in the Black community. And it's just, I think this is where our massive, massive downfall lies right now. Darius, you have anything to say?
I don't subscribe to the whole thing with these colored pills. I just come from a standpoint of spirituality, and I know what God has said about times such as these that we're living in, and that these are the end times. So when I see all this stuff that's transpiring, men wanting to be women and men wanting to be, you know what I'm saying, men wanting to be women and women wanting to be men, and all this other craziness that's going on in the world, none of this stuff phases me because I know what we're in the midst of.
Right.
So none of it phases me in the least bit, personally.
You just feel that it's coming to the end. I just
simply say you better try to get yourself right while you still can. And I tell people that.
I hear you, man. Emilia, talk to me.
Okay, just making sure my audio is on. It's a tough one. I'm like straddling the fence in a way. I don't believe people should check out, like totally just give up on anything. I think changing how you look at something and adapting and then making some adjustments to secure your heart, your finances, and whatever is the better way to do it. And once you have a more secure base, then you could go out and you could see the garbage that's out there and say, nah, not for me, not for me, not for me, instead of taking it personal. I think acknowledging that you may have been with a bum, or that even though you had all the right intentions, that person was a bum. They were they were bums anyway. They looked attractive. They seemed to have all of this. They seemed to have everything you needed, but they turned out to be bummy. The fact that I'm still alive and I'm still thriving, I'm okay. You be a bum. I'm going to move on and find something better. To me, I think people who are severe red pill are some people who may not have gotten their secure base again. Their base is rocked. Yeah. Their base is cracked up.
Right.
So in a way to heal that cracked base, they've gone and done full red pill.
Right.
These people are the enemy. These people are the enemy. Those people are the enemy. But I say, if you can stay there, you're going to become broken, stay broken, and people hear broken and people see broken. But if you use that coding as a protective blanket while you're healing, then you could just slowly start saying, you know what? I'm not going to fall for the garbage. I'm going to identify it and move on. And that's when you become more aware and not so much, like an aggressive red pillar. Because you hear the vehemence in people's voices like, ah, and I'm looking at the folks going, yeah. And let's say a good woman comes by. They don't want to deal with that vinegar. That's terrible. I'm like, yeah, bro, heal, because I would do my darndest. And if he was a hot mess, broken person, women, I'm like, you know what? That's not me. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to be like that for a bit, but you got to recognize that you need to heal from that.
Yeah.
And you need to just become better at picking the bums or getting rid of the bums.
Right. I hear you. What I'm hearing is that people have this, we are still in this mode, and I'm seeing it happening slowly, is that we have this preconception that red pill is a lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle. It's simply a way of seeing the world. That's it. But if we make that vision, that colored glasses, that dark glasses, cloud our vision, then I understand what you're talking about. It becomes part of who we are. It becomes our personality, and then it comes out in a nasty, visceral way. So I understand what you're saying, but the term red pill basically means I see the world differently from the way mainstream have been teaching me about the world, right? So I just want us to understand that don't look at red pill as a personality disorder. We have to, yeah, exactly. Don't get it black pilled. We got to look at it as just the way I see things. And even though as I got more and more into this channel, I never understood what this whole idea of red pill was. I was just doing things that were taught to me by my father. But my father was teaching me the true nature of women. And his friends that surrounded me, even though they were all married, they were always like, boy, you have to be understanding of woman, because them not that nice, everything nice and rosy. They had this way of harshly telling you that don't put all your trust in a woman and the way she's acting, etc. Be cautious. There was always this word of caution, whereby the world is telling you, oh, women are beautiful and sweet and they're angelic and etc., etc. So they had a way of conveying the message to me, right? In what we call today red pill. But it was just a cautionary note that we should not throw everything at a woman and expect to get something back. That's it. Albert, you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I can say two things can be true at the same time. Like you were saying, as far as there are people that take things to the extreme. In respect to the video, for me, that my dad wasn't in my life for the majority of the time. I was raised with my grandmother more so, and from home to home. And I have a lot of siblings that are women, so you kind of learn as you grow with them. But as far as, to me, what red pill is simply awareness.
Yeah.
It's just be aware of what it is. It's the same model. If you're going to look for a job, you have to know what it is exactly. And just like James just typed something and stated that awareness that is not going to fix it. But if you're aware, then you know what you can afford. You know if you're going to take on that. And that some people, just like the whole thing as well, red pill also makes you understand the difference between a partner and a wife. I hear that a lot. Some people say, okay, this is my partner, this is my wife, but red pill makes you understand. And also it's empower men to be men. It says, okay, because if a man is red pill, they say the woman is better off with that because the bulk of the responsibility should be for the men anyways. So it's by nature. Be a man, and I learn, and I watch a lot of and then you gotta have some critical thinking and put the trash aside and see what works, what doesn't work. But at the end of the day, I think the true nature of a man is you have to understand women. Some people say, okay, well, men understand women, not this generation, not this definitely not the new generation as I'm looking. And the women maybe they understand men, but as far as the red pill itself, it's simply awareness to me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to. Everybody had a chance to talk, or and when okay, because I'm going to go to the next video. I want to show the next video.